This is Divine Intervention versus, I believe, we'll find out the name. I think it's versus BPE. And this is the first of the Global Operations Tournament, DCOT. And this is their first match. So we have DIIN in T90 messes and a Leopard 2A6, so they have 4 brawlers and a sniper, while the other team are in 4 Merkavas and a T90 mess. So I think DIIN has a slightly better team composition simply because the Leopard and the T90 messes are relatively fast tanks, while the Mercs are pretty slow. But the Mercs have far better burst damage and are better at holding the cap circle when they get there. So DIIN has the advantage at getting into the cap circles, but BPE and their Mercs are far better at holding them. So I predict that DIIN is probably better off rushing to the to number 2 and holding it for as long as they can, and then maybe retreating so they can get those extra points. Simply because I don't think they'll be able to hold those Merkavas when they come over. The Leopard, I'm not really sure why it's here. Its Amarek in the front is a catastrophic weakness, and while it can penetrate the Merkavas, the T90 MS is better at facing them simply because of the higher damage and the better reload. As you can see, they're all going in a relatively straight line and they'll all arrive at the cap circles in the same time. The T90's acceleration and speed is kind of nullified in a straight line like this, but when the battle progresses, DIIN will probably have their reinforcements in the form of their T90 messes come faster. So BPE is slightly fast off the mark. We have, who is that? Oh fuck, hang on. It is Peter Brown in his T90 MS. Presumably scouting here or something. He is the furthest one forward and he's probably going to get slightly butt raped by this guy. Should be aiming the lower plate. Oh, oh god, god, not good. Come on, bro. Get those tracks if you can. Get those tracks. Get that lower plate. No. Okay, it's not good. It doesn't look like it's going particularly well for DIIN right now. Although if they still hold down here, they may have a chance versus these Mercs. The Mercs have pretty poor gun depression in all honesty. As you can see, we have one Merc that's literally on low health right now, but their T90 mess has actually so far done a good job and he's flanking round. Their Leopard, for some reason, is over here. And like I said and predicted, the Merkavas are far better in a assault role such as this than the 90 messes. Right, and they only have 2 guys up at the moment. As you can see, the Merkava's lack of a turret ring weak spot means that when it gets into that kind of position, it is very hard to kill them. And these 2 guys are actually kind of screwed up right now. So while DIIN's other T90 MS reinforcements will be quick to get there, I'm not sure if it will help because it'll only be 2 of them versus 4. And for now, at some point, as you can see here, only the Leopard has started entering the battle, and he's just too late. I would have gone with either a full T90 MS team, or not. Simply put, the Leopard is a little bit outmatched in his circumstances. It's a hold down tank with the penetration of the tier 10, so while it's a good counter to the Merkava if it can get into position or not, in Glops I don't really think so, since Glops is about capturing and holding objectives rather than dealing damage, which the Leopard can't really do. Rip Leopard. So the rest of DIIN's reinforcements are actually approaching the cap zone now. Like I said, they'll get there far faster than everyone else. But the Merkava's ready racks, they'll need to get rid of that. So I would actually start concentrating fire on that T90 MS. It's more fragile and it'll take that Merkava longer to be able to fully gain its ability to hold. And as you can see, BPE has actually started pointing out. Hello streamer, we are from the series when we cannot find it. They're starting to gain the cap back, but I'm pretty sure that Bomber's going to come in and he's going to lay waste to it. Ow. Okay, didn't even hit the thing. Come on. At least track it if you can. Get under its gun. Get under its gun. Come on. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it. What are you ready? Oh. Okay, the objectives have changed, so the T90 should be able to get there, but they did screw up. See, because if you've played this map before, you know that when you get down to roughly this level of points, the objectives will change. So BPE's tanks are already on the draw, they're already there, while DIIN's are gonna have to come up. Let's see on their side. So their T90 is doing pretty well, going as fast as he can rather than cab. Say 5. He's going to come up with a Merkava trailing behind. The Merkava will be able to hold the cap in this kind of hold down situation that this guy is in. And then the T90 will either be able to go down to support those Merkavas or he'll be able to stay there. And of course, BPE have also laid down some pillboxes as well, which will make it difficult for DIIN to assault them. The Leopard is... I mean, it's a noble effort, but he's not really going to be able to get many shots in here, because the main brawling effort will be focused on these T90 messes here. And Varkan has suddenly realised the meaning of the ready racks, and this looks like it's going to hurt quite a bit. Let's see where he's going to aim. Should be aiming at that front spot if he can. Or not, allegedly. Leopard down here. At this point, I'm pretty sure they've already won. He shouldn't be pushing his tank back like that, because then you can literally penetrate the roof of the 90MS there. And you see now they're going to start focusing fire on him. Fox is backing up to actually block the fire of the other two Mercs. And if he didn't, I'm pretty sure this 90MS might have been dead by now. Let's see. Ow, this is actually kind of painful to watch, to be honest. And as you can see, he's very fixated on that target here. He might have been able to penetrate either of those other two. For instance, going for Foxtrot and taking the Merkava out of the fight is actually pretty important. It'll take down the ready rack number from 12 to 8. And I'm pretty sure we know where the next bomb is coming from. And BPE is really going ham on DIIN over here. And I don't think DIIN are going to be able to push it back. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, let's see how Peter does. I don't think DIIN has actually practiced against Merkavas at all, simply because of the immense difficulty they're having with them. Although I do feel that the Merkava, with its 4-round ready rack, the heavy upper plate armor and the lack of a turret ring weak spot, means that it is quite dominant in this situation. And so maybe taking T90MSs is kind of not exactly good at all. And they're really struggling here. I feel that DIIN is going to have to readjust its tactics after this, because it did feel like they were grossly underprepared for the Merkava spam. It's funny because in DIIN, in the Steel Ocean tournaments, have actually been completely dominant. Then again, I believe these are different players, so whatever. But yeah, good game by BPE there. And I feel that Varkan is not going to be too pleased about this. So let's have a look at the in-game results. So, as you can see here, the Mercs did far outweigh the damage they did. They did 18,000 more damage. They did half as much more as damage than the DIIN guys did. And the fact that they got such high numbers, for instance, their top 3 players did more damage, did almost as much damage as the entirety of DIIN combined. And, well, ouch. So that was the first game. We'll have another one soon, and we'll be recording that as well. Okay, second game. So far we have a 1 win for BPE, and DIIN has lost the previous one. DIIN has slightly changed up their team lineup here with a Merkava chosen by Peter. They have 3 T90MSs and a Leopard 2, while BPE has 4 Merkavas and 1 T90MS. I feel that DIIN should have gone with a full Merkava lineup, maybe take the Leopard as well, since now they have a very huge correlation. Their 90MSs are the fastest tank here, followed by the Leopard, so they'll reach it, but their only heavy unit, the Merkava 4, will be trailing behind. And yes, I agree that the 99A2 may be slightly best for this scenario, but regardless, we've got to see if DIIN learned from our last encounter, in which they were heavily outgunned by the Merkavas, and so hopefully we'll see how things go. So both teams are starting off again. We have BPE on the south side and DIIN on the north side, when it was the opposite before. And as you can see here, DIIN will possibly reach their cap before the Mercs do. And once there, I would recommend that they cap it and then immediately move to engage. The T90MS has superior poking, mobility and penetration, as well as DPM, so if they can use that and instead single out the Mercs and take them down one by one, they may have a shot in this battle. And as you can see here, DIIN was slightly off the draw on this one, and so if it comes down to a regular point-based scenario, hilariously enough, DIIN will actually lose because they were like literally like half a second behind. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So we're going to switch to the battle. As you can see, Peter Brown has gone forward in the Merkava. The Merkava can penetrate itself, roughly 50% chance on the lower plate, which is actually yellow. So using this guy to block tanks, as you can see, he has significantly higher hit points than just about everybody else, except for the other Merkavas, of course. And you can see all the fire he's taken. However, DIIN are heavily outmanned here on this part of the map. The Merkavas are chewing these T90MSs up, and they're basically getting boxed in. We have a 5 versus 4 scenario here. One of the Merkavas is going to die. I would recommend that Escobar in this case might be better off charging in. Nope, he's dead. Simply get a full health Merkava. And then after this, given how badly DIIN are doing again, I'm not sure. Carlsberg may be able to take out this T90MS, I'm not sure, but it doesn't really matter at this rate. If he can kill him, I'll be surprised, but he's about to get Merkava from behind, or T90MS in this case. Okay, there we go, we got a win. And the blue team here are going to steadily push this T90MS out, and due to the fact these Merkavas are on full health now, 1-1, well, 2 of them are, they should do a pretty decent job of being able to push, being able to hold the cap circle, and be able to hold DIIN off long enough. They've made an order in which possibly any reinforcement or respawning tanks are probably going to start heading to the pillboxes there, or to, and then likely to the next capture point, so they have a leg up on that one. Well, DIIN are currently sending reinforcements to the fight. Instead, I think they should just not bother with this and instead take a early hold on objective 3 and 5, I think. As you can see here, they're doing a wonderful job of keeping these guys off. It may not last as long, but they don't need to. All they need to do is to prevent these guys from holding the cap, and they can drain DIIN of their Glops points. And they do actually have a pillbox down there, and Varkin, I believe, has regretted his decisions once again, really. You can see he's aiming for the cap point there. Shouldn't have done that. Just blast it. Oh, come on, aim for the Aim, come on, aim for the sprocket, track it. There we go. No, there we go. No. Oh, and it doesn't matter in this case. BPE can happily move the rest of their tanks up. And of course they're going to put another bomber on. I think they are so far staying at least 1 or 2 steps ahead of DIIN in this encounter since they've already got another bomber up. They've likely played Glops extensively to know this, and oh dear God, that physically hurt me. Where's my goddamn plus now? There you go, that'll work. So for now, they're likely keeping the bomber until the rest of DIIN respawns, and then they'll likely drop it on capture point 5. As you can see, V here is trying to desperately cap this. It doesn't look like DIIN is actually fighting as a team well enough in this. As you can see here, there's some stumbling around going on this part of the map. So I think BPE has the superior team coordination here. And as you can see, immediate bomber, the moment it flies in, they'll just carpet bomb it. And so far that's actually some of the funniest tactics. And I don't think DIIN has actually properly realised what's happening here, because and basically another bomber wipeout. Christ almighty. And for now it looks like they can actually start spawn killing DIIN. Because, Jesus, that's not good at all, is it? Ow. So DIIN's going to roll in again, and I don't think... Oh wait, look, there's another bomb already. I find it kind of unacceptable that the winning side has access to so many bombers. Like, this is literally less than one. Okay, so DIIN is trying to take back that bomber, but I don't think it's going to work, simply because he's in the spawn fire with now 3 Merkavas. And BPE is likely going to go for another bomber in this case, to which if they achieve another literal team kill, like, these guys are the fucking GMs and they're going for party wipeouts in this case. Yeah, BP has a very good focus fire, and I don't think DIIN has this. Yep, there we go, another bomb coming in. So all they have to do is to force DIIN into a firing line, and they'll achieve another game. And I don't think DIIN actually particularly... Okay, so they've learned so far, but it's only a matter of... They achieved a 3rd wipeout. Jesus. Boy, that was something. I feel like DIIN may need to hurriedly go for Type 99A2s, but regardless, unless they want to go for another game, BPE has won 2 out of 3 games, and that means they've won this round. As you can see here, same story as before, except this time BPE did twice as much damage with Messena Kane, who is the 40k name for a god, I think. Did 22,000 damage. I think DIIN needs to be able to maybe do some more training sessions, and to instead maybe concentrate on focus firing and working as a team. We are presumably on the 3rd round. I guess DIIN wanted to see if they could maybe challenge them again. So BPE has instead elected to have a Leopard 2A6. Maybe he got bored of Merkavas, or maybe DIIN, I'm not sure of that case. But regardless, at this point DIIN now has 2 Merkavas compared to BPE's 3. BPE has a Leopard. I don't think those Leopards are particularly useful in this matchup. The T19Ss maybe, but those Merkavas have definitely been the star of the show so far. Right. So, hopefully DIIN is going to start focus firing, and maybe looking out on the map to see when those bombers are going to come in, because those T19Ss can actually dodge bombers while the Mercs really can't. Nice camo paint on there, by the way. Right, let's see what's happening this time. So both teams heading for the cap point as usual. I suspect that as before the previous two times, BPE is likely to go for a aggressive start to the match again. As you can see, their Leopard and their T19MS look like they're gonna actually try and cut DIIN off, maybe either that road over there or there, and they're gonna see if they can distract them. I don't think this is going to be part of any original strategy, and maybe a simple guess to see if maybe they can distract DIIN with those two guys. And it may have worked, in fact. So we have a Leopard coming up here. See if he can head them off. That T90 is in a really decent place. I think DIIN needs to work out on the armor profiles and where to shoot tanks, as they have had difficulties with snapshot firing before. And okay, so they've actually managed to completely surprise them and distract them, so that feint worked. And now the hammer of the Merkavas is going to come in all the way from behind, and they might not even see them until it's too late. So those Mercs are going to pop it from here, and they're going to ready wrap these guys in the butt. So if DIIN can cut off these two guys here, that's good. That may be the strategy they're aiming for, to try and isolate them from the Mercs. But they need to do this quick. And they need to just go in straight for these guys and then immediately turn around and engage those Mercs. That may have even been BPE's initial strategy all along, just to distract DIIN from the two cap points. As you can see here, DIIN is actually starting to fall behind in cap points now. So they need to go straight on for these Mercs, organise a firing line, and take them out. That Leopard might actually be useful in this case, provided he can go hold down. There we go. I think maybe if they started training and aiming for the Merkava's ammo like that, maybe as well. Metatron there, I think he's slightly screwed up in that scenario. Going ahead like that means he's just going to be the focus of focus fire. But at this point, oh man, Peter Brown should not be there. He should be in that cap circle, getting those capture points down. Because okay, I think DIIN had a good counter-attack going here, but then they may have screwed it up because they've been focusing on killing enemy tanks, while BP has been going straight for the cap points first. They could have launched all their units in a full-scale attack, but instead they capped the point and then went, while DIIN has been focusing on instead killing these Mercs. And I don't think this strategy is going to work, because now those Mercs are respawning, and this is going to happen all over again, and DIIN is 400 points behind. As you can see here, Vanken is actually probably going for the bomber attempt here. I don't think BPE has access to one, so he's probably going to try and use the bomber strategy back on them, which, as long as they do it in advance rather than before, rather than when they get here, it may work. But of course he's going to have to wait here, so he may instead, if he can see them, he may want to drop that bomber on those Mercs when they come down and force them to get out of their firing line, which is so far what BP has been very good at. T90MS, good distraction here. He's tying up 3 guys, and those Mercs are about to drop down behind again. Oh god, he's burning now. Did he take a fire extinguisher? I don't think he... Oh, he did. He had to pause for a second to figure out there, but now all of his components are down, and he's about to get absolutely destroyed by Foxtrot. Okay, instead DIIN should now just start running. We haven't seen the bomber coming yet, but I think those two mercs down there are a little bit waylaid. I think they've realised this. And DIIN should instead just leave this T90, this Leopard with them. I don't think V has actually had any proper intelligence on what's going down there. Maybe should have waited for the mercs to actually approach, or if the bomber was on, say, like 2 seconds, they go into the moving phase now. A good guess, I guess. Yeah, that is the problem going with here, Ed. I don't think DIIN properly knows where to aim for weak spots in this case. And as you can see here, and they've always been on the defensive in this option. And their defenses have always been cracked by BPE here. BPE here having basically sacrificed those two mercs. Instead of asking them to come round back there, they're instead asking them to engage the majority of DIIN, actually all of DIIN's team members, in an effort to kill them. So they can cap these 2 points and basically push DIIN. This may be the game winner here. Because as long as they can force DIIN into this scenario where they have to engage and protect for all costs, they can happily sit behind with 5 and 3. Okay, so they're all focused firing on this Leopard now. He really should be aiming straight at the lower plate, not into the turret. That Leopard has a very, very, very weak lower plate, and the left side of the tank is where the ammo rack is. So if you can hit that twice in rapid succession, and if the person isn't quick enough on the fire extinguisher, you may be able to completely ammo rack the tank and take it out in the fight. They're finally learning to focus fire here. This is good. This is good. Track the T90 mess if you can. Come on, aim for the tracking shot. Don't go for the kill shot. Track it so it can't. No. And as you can see here, okay. Go in for the tracking shot. Come on. Come on, dude. He hasn't even fired the shot yet. I'm not sure. I don't think it really shows up. Okay. Tried the cart, but I think he should have tracked that T90 mess to begin with. So they would have been able to expose and isolate himself, because the T90 mess's defense is its mobility, and taking away the tracks on the T90 mess can basically be death for it. Okay. Next up, DIIN really has no hope of winning this game, in all honesty. In fact, I may, if I have the time, I may go to talk to him about it, and tell him what I saw about their problems and bugs, because this was generally quite painful to watch, in terms that I don't think DIIN really understood what they were up against here, and that has really been on the back foot. So far they've only capped a bomber really once. They've actually gone straight for the kills instead of going for any of the wild cards here, such as the bomber and the pillboxes, which they could always place down to help them out. And instead they've gone for kills over caps. As you can see here, BPE's strategy of simply sacrificing and using feints and distractions have really worked in this case. And as you can see, they're about to drop a bomber on these mercs once again. And instead of going for their own bomber, DIIN have instead elected to, like I said, go for this. Okay, I think they wiped out the pillboxes, which I guess is good enough in terms of a defensive thing. Maybe they were hoping for more. And this has once again been another win by BPE. So far we have had 3 wins out of 3 for BPE in this circumstance. Let's have a look at the review again. As you can see here, basically twice as much damage as before. The focus on bombers and everything has really done for it, and I think DIIN does need to work on their focus firing, objective taking, and being aggressive. So I'm going to go in and talk to them now.